Colburn chapter 15 is devoted to different kinds of time expressions, so let's review them quickly. First of all, the ablative case alone with no preposition can have a couple of distinct meanings. First of all, time when. AODA in the ablative case can mean on that day or at that day. In ea ora ablative case, at that hour, on that hour. I haven't put the macrons in, but let's assume that ea ora is ablative. So that's time when. The ablative case alone can also indicate time within which something happened. For example, duabus annis, in 2 years, within 2 years, or tribus mensis, within 3 months. Those are all fairly standard and common time expressions. The accusative case alone, when it's expressing a time concept with time words, usually expresses duration or extent of time. So, for example, septem annos means for 7 years, or totam noctem means all night. It went on. The motorcycles were making noise on my street all night. Now, this extent of time can be emphasized with the preposition per. So, per totam noctem means all through the night, really emphasizing that it was going on through the whole time. Not much difference in meaning. It's one more of emphasis. However, prepositions can be used to modify time expressions in a number of not very intuitive ways to us English speakers. So, for example, the preposition intra plus the accusative shows that something happened in less time than the expression that's given. So, intra duos annos, urbem munivit, means he fortified the city inside of 2 years, in less than 2 years. De plus the ablative case, as in de prima ora, means starting from that time, starting from the first hour. Sub is one that the Romans use a lot in a specialized way, meaning just before or towards. So sub noctem means just before night or towards nightfall. Sub lucem means just before dawn or towards dawn. Sub vesperum means just before evening or towards evening. Ad plus the accusative can mean things like until. So ad multam noctem, literally toward much night, means until late at night. Or ad solis occasum, until, really up to the setting of the sun, until sunset. There are a number of expressions that seem almost to be idioms with prepositions. So post hominum memoriam means within human memory, literally after human memory. I'm not sure how much literal sense that makes, but that's what it means. Ex eo tempore is a little bit more intuitive, ever since that time, literally out of that time. Ad tempus means right on time or in time. And in tempore means just in the nick of time. If you want to express how old someone is in Latin, you use the perfect participle of the verb nascor, to be born. So you have natus, plus the accusative of the extent of time that they've been born. So the expression vir natus octoginta annos literally means a man having been born for 80 years. That's how you say an 80-year-old man in Latin. When you see expressions in English with the word ago, so many years ago, you do it with the word abhinc plus an accusative of extent of time in this fixed word order. It's abhinc plus years or months or whatever the measure of time is, plus the number. So abhinc annos viginti means 20 years ago. Literally from here, from this spot, for 20 years. To express a certain extent of time earlier or later, they do it a couple of ways. Either decem ante annis or decem ante annos, either with the ablative or the accusative, to mean 10 years earlier. probably ante, the lower one, decem ante annos. Ante is not a preposition, but an adverbial there, and annos is the extent of time, earlier for 10 years. In the previous one, decem ante annis, annis is probably the object of the preposition ante, earlier 10 years. But the expressions are essentially equivalent, and you see it both ways. So that's how you say 10 years earlier. To say 10 years later, you do the same thing, except with post, and you put it in between the decem and the number of years. And it means 10 years later. Latin has a number of special time words. You'll notice that most of them are in the ablative case to express time when something happens. Or some of them are just plain old adverbs like ieri, yesterday, hodie, today, kras, tomorrow. Those are just plain old adverb words. But predie and posterodie, predie means on the previous day, and posterodie means on the following day, and that is sometimes shortened to postpredie. Then you have below that a bunch of other time expressions, almost all of which are in the ablative case. Prima luce, at first light, that means dawn. Meridie means at midday. Vesperi means in the evening, at evening. Quotidie means daily, every day. Solis ortu means literally at the rising of the sun. Multo die is a little bit odd. It means literally at much day, late in the day. Noctu is a specialized word meaning at night. You can also say nocte, which would just be the ablative of time with the word night. And quotanus meaning every year. Mane means early. Solus ocasu means at sunset, and interdiu means by day. And that's what we've got.